Alright, you goddamn degenerates. I don't think I can allow these lies to continue for much longer. Over the last week or so, I have sensed a troubling trend. One that I, as a basketball fan, am very, very familiar with. I'm quite sensitive to it, which is to say, the second I see it even start to take shape, I'm like, I know what that is. And this trend is when, for some reason, fans of a particular sport decide they're just gonna pretend that just because they have a shiny new toy, in this case we're referring to Topuria, everyone just decides everything that came before him was terrible. So because he's good, everyone else is bad. Exhibit A. This post suggesting that Khabib Nurmagomedov was fighting bums while Ilia is champ 17 fights in. Let's actually look at this, because this is fair. This is a fair critique. All right, Ilia was champ at 17. Khabib was fighting bums at 17. That's fair. I'm sure any brain-dead amoeba could see this and simply accept it. But let me provide you with a bit of a different angle. Let me provide some range, like a wide-angle camera. Right now, you're on portrait. Let's zoom out. Let's go landscape. Okay? Yes, you boys thought you could get away with this kind of slander, but I am about to go full fucking autist on y'all's asses. Let us begin. But before that, let's get one thing out of the way. Khabib obviously has more fights than Ilia, so we have a larger sample size, but I would argue all that does is kind of favor Khabib, and you'll see why. Let's start off by going over both of their trajectories. You might not actually believe this, because I was kind of shocked when I found out myself, but both Khabib, sorry, they kind of look the same. Both Khabib and Ilia have very similar trajectories to their initial UFC run, like shockingly similar. Both fought 4 unranked guys before fighting the number 9 ranked fighter, then the number 5 ranked fighter. Kind of creepy if you really think about it, but there's a few differences that those of you with elite ball knowledge might already be aware of. The first difference you'll notice is UFC didn't have rankings at the time Khabib had his first 4 fights. So even if he was going to fight ranked opponents, you couldn't really tell because there was no such thing as a ranking. So on the matter of like unranked opponents, I think they're pretty even. It's kind of like whatever. The second difference you'll notice is in who their ranked opponents were. The 9th ranked guy that each of them fought were around the same age. Bryce Mitchell for Ilia Topuria was 28, Pat Healy was 30, and both were on a 6-fight win streak in the UFC at the time that they fought Khabib and Ilia. But what I would like to direct your attention towards is the age of Ilia's opponent when we get to the number 5th rank opponent that they both fought. Does that shit say 38? God damn! Yep, I'm reading that right. So just so you all know, both Khabib and Ilia were the same age at this point. Both were 25, both on 5-fight win streaks in the UFC, 4 unranked opponents. They just beat the number 9 ranked guy who was on a streak. Only difference is, while Khabib was busy dominating prime Rafael dos Anjos, Topuria was beating up on old man Josh Emmett, who he couldn't even finish.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
But I'm not even gonna harp on that. Because surely Ilia Topuria is not gonna go on to, not fight a single opponent under the age of 30 a single time, is he? Oh, that's exactly what he did, isn't it?
Yeah.
But before that, let's go over Khabib first. After beating RDA, Khabib was set to fight both Tony and Cowboy Cerrone, who were both really high ranking at the time, but then he got injured, like really badly injured. He hurt his rib, he got a meniscus tear, he was gone for 2 years, he even considered quitting. So his trajectory was just shut off right there. But he came back. Did he come back looking like a shell of himself, looking a bit rusty, out of form, not quite as good? Hell nah. His warm-up fight was against a 12-1 guy who he mauled and finished in the second round. He then followed that up by mauling Michael Johnson, who was coming off a win against Dustin Poirier and ranked 6th, and he made it look easy. He then followed that up with an equally dominant win over the then number 4 ranked lightweight Edson Barbosa. But he didn't just beat these guys. No, you don't get it. He 10-8'd both of them twice.
Damn!
Potentially a third time with Edson Barbosa, because the scorecard was like 25, 30-25, 30-25, and 30-24. Do you guys realize how difficult that is to do? To beat a guy so badly, they get 10-8'd for 2 rounds. He did the same thing with Michael Johnson and then submitted him in the 3rd. He was supposed to fight Tony Ferguson for the belt, but Tony got injured, so they brought in Ala Quinta, who, yes, was ranked 11th, but I mean, he was on a 5-fight win streak and would go on to be ranked at 6th after his fight with Khabib, so he wasn't a scrub. He then defended his belt against the first ever double champion, Conor McGregor. I know you guys think that Conor was bad because you don't like him anymore. I know you guys like to do that, where you just diminish someone's accomplishments because you don't like him. But Conor was good. He was really fucking good. And Khabib took his soul. Like, just destroyed him. He then had back-to-back submission wins over Justin and Dustin.
He's a beast! He's a beast!
But perhaps the main thing I want to point out is that every single opponent he had was in their prime. Like the peak. So, Michael Johnson was 30, Edson Barbosa was 31, Ala Quinta was 30, Conor McGregor was 30, Dustin was 30, Justin was 30. Both Dustin and Justin were coming off 5 and 4 fight win streaks, respectively. Dustin was pound for pound number 2 when he fought Khabib. Gaethje was number 5 pound for pound. And he cleaned them both out. Clean.
What more do you want?
Topuria, on the other hand, slept a 45-year-old Volk coming off a knockout from Islam, a CTE drunk Max Holloway, and a 35-year-old Charles Oliveira, who I'm not sure whose idea it was to put in there in the first place. I want you to look me dead in the eye and tell me you think that him beating Max Holloway
Look at this dude.
is a better win than Khabib beating prime Dustin Poirier. Definitely not, considering, you know, he lost to Dustin twice. I want you to look me dead in the eye and tell me you think 35-year-old Charles Oliveira, who was 1-2 in his last 3, is a better win than Conor fucking McGregor.
You can't.
Volk, certainly, and I'll give him that, is a better win than anyone Khabib has fought. But in terms of resume, in terms of the context behind their wins,
Not even close.
2 of his most impressive wins are against washed unks who, let's be honest, are washed. Like, don't deceive yourself because you saw Volk beat Lopez. It's fucking Diego Lopez. I don't know what to tell you.
Try.
So, just so we're all on the same page, Khabib, without injuries, was on his way to doing exactly what Ilia did. But not only that, he came back from those injuries and did it anyway against opponents all in their prime. But Ilia, because he knocked them out. My bad, y'all. I forgot knocking out unks was more impressive than dominating peers in every shape or form. Another criticism is how people shit on Khabib for not having fought other grapplers, and that somehow delegitimizes him because he's better than them at wrestling. And to that I say, my bad, y'all. I didn't realize Charles was Muhammad fucking Ali, or that Volk had Canelo hands. My bad. I wanted to end this off with something interesting that I'm sure you guys will like. It's a bit of a Jon Jones comp, right? This is the last bit I'll touch on because I found it hilarious. A lot of people, and I'm willing to bet you included, dear viewer, shit on Jon Jones saying he fought dudes out of their prime. You know? He fought unks. He fought people on the back end of their careers. They weren't really... what if I told you that he not only won his belt off a younger opponent than Ilia did, his first 2 defenses were against younger opponents as well?
Read, nigga, read!
See, this is how I know y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shogun was 29 when he lost to Jon Jones. Rampage was 33. Lyoto Machida was 33. Rashad Evans was 32. He didn't fight a 35-year-old until Vitor Belfort. And then the second he fought someone around his age, Alexander Gustafsson, oh shit, suddenly he looks human.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm here to tell you that's not an accident. I'm here to tell you it's not an accident that the UFC decided to put their star against the aging, the former champion of the division. I'm here to tell you the UFC doesn't give a shit that Ilia missed weight. I'm here to tell you that this is just all them building their star, which fair play. I'm not gonna have y'all sit here and pretend as if like this is some type of, oh, Ilia's some kind of fucking monster because he's sleeping guys that he can knock out. He can knock out fucking Josh Emmett or Bryce Mitchell.
Try.
He submitted Bryce Mitchell. Don't get me wrong. He fucking absolutely obliterated Josh Emmett. But we gotta keep that same energy, huh? We gotta keep that same energy. If y'all gonna hit on Jon Jones for all that, I mean, listen. Shogun was 29. Rampage was 33. Machida, 33. Rashad Evans was even younger, 32.
Ain't that something?
Ilia's youngest opponent as a champion has been Max Holloway, who, surprise, surprise, was the only one that took him to the 3rd round. Who, as I mentioned in a previous video, is also the only one to not get flatline KO'd. But I digress. Because I feel like I have sufficiently done my job in calling out bullshit, but do not be mistaken. With websites like Twitter or X, free for the general public to use, and by extension, the mentally disabled, I will certainly not run out of takes to respond to in this matter. Thank you for watching, and if anything, I hope this video has given you a new perspective. But I doubt it, because I don't think you actually care about any of this. I think you just like Topuria, so you just say whatever. Fair enough, fellas. Fair enough.